up Tzu Care recipient Lin Zhenming donates what he can to help those in greater need. We learn more about the Education Sponsorship Program, which aims to provide additional subsidies for underprivileged students. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helena. Thank you for joining us. Recently, Penghu team members and city volunteers held a free clinic in Jibei, the offshore island of Penghu, Taiwan. The event was joined by doctors from Penghu Hospital as well as other volunteers united in the goal of curing the sick and poor.
It's been 2 years since the last free clinic in Penghu's offshore island of Jibei, and today Tzu Chi volunteers and team members set sail once more. Located at the northernmost corner of Penghu, the fishing village of Jibei lacks adequate medical care for the sick and old. Among the patients of this most recent free clinic is Oh Heng Li, who can finally see a dentist for his gum problem.
At the beginning, my gums was blistered and swollen. Then when I brushed my teeth, the blister broke and it became a wound.
After a dentist's careful examination and treatment, the senior's pain is lessened and he is now smiling again.
The care is very good. I never met a dentist that was this detailed in caring for his patients.
On his day off, dentist Chen Yentong, who is currently doing his compulsory military service in Penghu, also joined the event.
I just graduated and it hadn't occurred to me that what I learned in school can be put to use so soon. Seeing how much I can contribute really makes me feel the education I've received was worth it.
The free clinic was akin to a mobile hospital, as services from the 4 main medical departments were offered, as well as bone density measurements and blood and glucose level checks.
Jibei is an offshore island of Penghu, and it's not convenient for female residents to go to the main island to get a mammogram. So by bringing the screening here, this free clinic becomes even more meaningful.
Besides holding offshore island free clinics, Tzu Chi volunteers and team members conduct health checks at the homes of care recipients in Ma Gong.
As a positive effect in caring for the sick and the poor, we hope as their health improves, their economic status will as well.
I saw for myself how Dr. Ho cares for each patient like his own family. He is very kind, and even the Tzu Chi volunteers who accompanied him today felt his affection. For those care recipients unable to leave the house, their lonely hearts are a bit fuller with the visit from Tzu Chi volunteers and team of doctors.
In Malaysia, we meet Tzu Care recipient Lin Zhenming, who despite his illness donates to help the less fortunate.
At care recipient Lin Zhenming's house, Tzu Chi volunteers are giving Lin a haircut.
Don't say that. We are the ones should be thankful. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to help you with the haircut. Thank you for trusting us. You are our teacher because we have learned a lot from you.
Being a cancer patient herself, Zhou Yunchang can better empathize with Lin Zhenming's situation.
When he is short of breath, I feel sorry for him because I'm ill too. I know how it feels like to be short of breath. When he cannot breathe easily, I can feel his pain.
Lin Zhenming has suffered from stroke for years and had undergone a heart surgery. He was recently diagnosed with liver problems too. Nevertheless, Lin still remains optimistic. Learning how Tzu Chi dialysis patients repay the love, he decided to do the same.
In the way that Tzu Chi volunteers have helped me, I want to help the less fortunate as well. Although the money is not much, I still want to make a contribution.
Inspired by Lin Zhenming's dedication and optimism, Zhou Yunchang vows to dedicate herself fully to being a volunteer.
Whether or not I do volunteer work, my pain will not disappear. So I'd rather go out to continue my work until one day I cannot do it anymore. By then, I know I won't have any regrets because I will have done my best to fulfill Tzuji's missions.
Both Lin and Zhou, despite their illness, are choosing to live their lives to the utmost.
Next, we meet Lin Hongting, whose son was diagnosed with a rare bone marrow disease. Although he peddles flatbread to pay for his son's medical bills, Lin insists on donating $2 new Taiwanese per flatbread sold to the Huashan Senior Welfare Foundation to help those in greater need.
Kneading a dough while eyeing pictures of his son on the wall for inspiration, Lin Hongting makes flatbread for a living.
It's a certain kind of power over me. I feel like I need to do this.
Last year, Lin's 8-year-old son was diagnosed with myelodysplastic syndrome, which is a rare bone marrow disease. Thankfully, many kind-hearted people purchased flatbread from him to help his family pay the enormous medical fees. The kindness has since stayed within his heart.
In the beginning, many people helped us, so we thought now we can give back to society. Giving is a kind of happiness in life. It's not like we are contributing much, but just a little love back to society.
Putting his words into action, Lin now donates $2 for every flatbread he sells to the Huashan Social Welfare Foundation, which benefits seniors in remote areas.
It's good to do good deeds. By buying bread here, I'm contributing too.
Selling flatbread for charity in his own way, Lin reciprocates the kindness society has shown him.
The Taiwan Green Mark was launched in 1992 by the Environmental Protection Administration. Since then, more than 1,000 products have been certified by the Green Mark, which indicates that the product has been tested and meets basic eco-friendly standards. However, many products on the market that claims to be eco-friendly or natural have later been tested to contain endocrine disruptors. For a safer option, consumers should rather purchase items that sport an official EPA eco-label.
When selecting your next brand of detergent, do you care what ingredients it contains?
Generally, consumers know very little of what is inside. Price is the most important factor.
But if you're looking for a more eco-friendly product, perhaps you should start here.
Lemon flavoring, water and citronella oil.
The first is to check the labeling to see what it contains. But nowadays, many of the products don't even have all their ingredients on the package.
Even if a product claims to have antibacterial functions or surfactants, consumers are often unable to identify the ingredients. As for words natural, eco-friendly, or biodegradable found on packaging, there is no set definition for such terms.
Many manufacturers come up with their own labels and advertise their products as green. This is what we call greenwashing.
Greenwashing is a phenomenon consumers worldwide are facing today. At this seminar, industry representatives from various countries have come together to discuss how consumers can identify a real green product.
The salesman who say, I'm green, the others not. But if you can compare basically on the label, you have a chance to know that.
Another way is to look for the distinguishing mark. This is the official eco-label in Taiwan, the Green Mark.
The Green Mark indicates that the product has been tested.
Many products advertise themselves as eco-friendly and green. However, that may not always be true. Some manufacturers even have their own verification mark.
This label verifies this product as green.
But if products aren't necessarily 100% green, how do we manage them?
Our waste management team is amending the current Resource Recycling Act. In the future, if manufacturers want to create their own eco-label, approval must first be granted by the EPA.
Products that market environmental friendliness as their selling point are not limited to detergents. Manufacturers at this exhibition were promoting their new eco-friendly lighting. This is what they said. This is what they didn't say. And over here, new technology to advance recycling is being showcased.
We have to take care about environment.
On the other hand, the manufacturer admits that even with a well-thought-out chemical treatment process, loopholes still exist.
100% green,
Almost,
or just a little bit of pollution.
yeah, a little bit. So not perfect. We didn't say it.
It is relative green.
Yeah.
Even higher tech than we have today. But we are just at the beginning of changing the way how production will be, changing the way how we are consuming. We have to align ourselves.
Only by starting to adopt greener practices and changing our lifestyle habits can we truly say we are contributing to save our environment from destruction.
In 2008, Malaysia Tzu volunteers launched the New Shoe Scholarship Program to help underprivileged students in the country. To extend their assistance further, this year volunteers started a new sponsorship program in which needy students in the top 30% of their class will receive additional monthly subsidies on top of their yearly New Shoe scholarships. In 2008, Malaysia Tzu volunteers brought the New Shoe Scholarship Program into Tamil elementary schools in what would be a life-changing program for many.
After CG help, I can see the attendance, the poorest, those come to school, attendance is getting better.
So after Suchi helping them, giving them 2 ringgit for makan per day, so they also be happy to come to school because they have something to eat in the school.
They have a confidence, as though they have this self-satisfaction that there are people behind them to support.
This year, Tzu volunteers also established the Education Sponsorship Program, in which students that are in the top 30% of their class will receive additional monthly subsidies on top of their yearly New Shoe Scholarship.
我们除了有助学金之外，我们还有多了一个叫做
Other than providing scholarships, we have now established the Education Sponsorship Program. We hope teachers can look into their students' situations so more children can receive much needed help. The program aims to encourage more students to work hard in school.
In 2008, Malaysia Tzu volunteers launched the New Shoe Scholarship Program to provide underprivileged children with a chance at an education. To make sure the money goes to the right person, volunteers would conduct 6 months of home visitations and assessments before handing out the scholarships. To further extend the scope of their assistance, the Happy Campus program was later launched in 2011, providing transportation and meal subsidies for needy students.
The school has more than 1,000 students. However, only 125 have received government subsidies.
In 2013, Tzu Klang chapter launched another program to encourage students to observe and change their bad behavior.
I think this program is great. I've learned to observe my behavior and differentiate between right and wrong.
Knowing that many students are in need of emotional support, Tzu volunteers also visit students at the Education Sponsorship Program on a monthly basis. At a Tzu camp, watching a video on the story of mouth and foot painter Xie Kunshan, students and parents have learned valuable lessons.
I've tried to write with my mouth. It is very difficult, and the writing wasn't pretty either. It made me realize the importance of my hands.
With Tzu volunteers alongside every step of the way, these students are more determined than ever to work hard in school.
I feel very lucky after attending Tzuji's event. Before, I was always by myself. Tzu Foundation has helped reduce some of my financial and emotional burden.
Despite the amount of effort and time put in, knowing that their dedication can make a difference in students' lives, Tzu volunteers are determined to carry on their good work in the years to come. Annually, Earth Day falls on April 22nd, and this year, Taiwan Xingyi District Tzu volunteers gather at Taipei 101 to give 1,000 flowers to passersby to raise environmental awareness. What's special about the flower is that they were handmade by the volunteers from recycled plastic bags.
Tzu volunteers in Taipei's Xingyi District are teaching community residents how to turn recycled plastic bags into flowers.
Tear it like this. It's okay if it doesn't rip sometimes. After folding it, this has to be on top.
There are less than 10 volunteers at the Wuxing retreat in Xingyi District. Nonetheless, despite their numbers, they are determined to make 1,000 flowers in a week to celebrate Earth Day.
I come here after work to help. Each fold takes patience.
Arriving at the popular tourist spot, Taipei 101, 100 Tzu volunteers pass out the flowers to passersby in an effort to raise awareness of the need to recycle. Even Polynesian visitors to Taiwan acknowledge the importance of environmental protection.
I've seen that Taiwan is very clean and the people are very nice, and I definitely support this act. I recommend for everyone to keep Taiwan clean because it's beautiful, not only for the people, but to bring more visitors into this beautiful country so they can see it.
Days before 2014's Earth Day, 1,000 handmade flowers leave a lasting impression in the hearts of 1,000 people.
In Taiwan, we meet 68-year-old recycling volunteer Xiao Ying-er, who lost her husband to a stroke and her son to a severe asthma attack. Despite the tragedies, Xiao has found peace of mind at her local recycling station and learned to turn her despair into strength to help the less fortunate.
It's just unbearable to lose your child, especially when he is a part of your life for over 40 years. My son suffered from asthma and needed an inhaler to control his symptoms. That day, his inhaler was empty and he and his wife were unable to find a new one. Before his asthma struck, and then he was just gone like that. I was in Tainan attending my niece's wedding, and after I heard the news, I rushed back by train.
结果喜酒还没有喝礼堂，那个酒席还没进去，我就赶了高铁回来。
After her husband passed away, last year Xiao Ying-er decided to move in with her daughter to help her with her rehab.
I'm also thankful for my daughter's co-workers as they helped drive my daughter to the office and back home when I didn't live with her.
Over a year ago, Xiao started sorting recyclables at her local recycling station and has found peace of mind ever since.
At the recycling station, I can chat with other volunteers. I'm happy sorting these recyclables because it can benefit our planet, just like what Master Zheng Yan says.
Making a donation on behalf of Typhoon Haiyan survivors in the Philippines, Xiao Ying-er has now learned to transform her misery into the strength to help those in need.
Ever feel like your stomach is on fire after drinking a cup of coffee or eating a piece of cake? Such condition is known as heartburn. Though the symptoms can be quickly alleviated by taking antacids, Chinese medicine doctors propose to treat the illness by combining Western and Eastern treatments.
Drink coffee and eat sweets can lead to heartburn, such is the slogan in commercials. As acid reflux becomes more common in Taiwan, people should not ignore the discomfort, as stomach acid can corrode the esophagus, leading to serious consequences.
Continuous acid reflux will eventually lead to Barrett's esophagus. When that happens, the risk of esophageal cancer is 40 times more likely than that of a normal person.
Chinese medicine doctors propose to treat the condition by employing herbs, acupuncture, and Western medicine. Besides taking antacids, pinealia, atractaloids, and poor man's ginseng, combined with pressure point treatment, can help as well.
In the middle of our breast lies the Ren meridian's Tanzhong point. The main function of this pressure point is to relieve chest pains, so when we have heartburn, we can massage this point for temporary relief.
Pressure points that govern the digestive system, such as zongwan, can help too when pressure or moxibustion is applied. Also, the pericardium channel's neiguan point, which lies about 3 fingers width above one's wrist, works as well. However, doctors say ultimately the best treatment requires no medicine, but only eating healthily and regularly, and maintaining a rigid routine.
In China's Fujian province, Shaman City volunteers recently found their way to Xike Industrial Park to promote Jingsi aphorisms in local shops. Despite being turned away several times, the volunteers did not give up and thus finally saw their efforts pay off.
Today, Shaman City volunteers are distributing Jingsi aphorism posters to local shops. Despite their good intentions, city volunteers find themselves rejected by most shopkeepers. Some shop owners do not reject the volunteers directly, but worried what the volunteers might ask of them.
Maybe we didn't make ourselves clear and they didn't get what we were saying. We need to work harder on that.
Realizing that doing good deeds isn't as simple as they thought, volunteers readjust their sales pitch before finally seeing their hard work paid off. Learning a lesson from their initial setback, the volunteers are now more skillful than ever when it comes to promoting Master Zheng Yan's wisdom.
This is another form of self-cultivation. In society, we inevitably encounter different people from different backgrounds.
As these volunteers spread good thoughts in society, they are at the same time cultivating their own blessings.
We stay in China at the end of the show. City volunteers and students from the Shilong 3rd Middle School visited 2 nursing homes in Dongguan, Guangdong. During the event, students not only played games with the seniors, but also gave them a foot bath. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.